Welcome to the Healing Hill. My name is Tiffany Hill Cook. This is episode 1. This is the beginning. It is nice to meet you. I look forward to fostering a relationship with you. And I do run a spiritual practice. So if the messages today resonate with you and you would like to have a one-on-one reading with me, I will put the link to my website. It is thehealinghill.com. I offer a variety of services where you are able to connect with your spirit guides and your higher self and get guidance, clarity, messages. But the intention for today is to share a message of peace, hope, love, and prosperity. See you soon. Well, so this is episode 1. Before I get started, I'm going to get connected. Okay. I'm not sure what I'm doing or where this is going. What I know is that simply I have a story to share, and Spirit has a message for you that is going to be channeled through me. In 2020, my life crumbled. After working nearly a decade at an organization, it's my first and only big kid job out of college. One day I woke up and it is as if I could see things for how they were for the first time ever. I could see them. I could see reality for what it was versus through the lens of my emotional inner world. The neediness that I had, the insecurities that I felt, the inadequacies, the lack of value, I didn't know that I am loved, that you are loved, and love simply because it is true. Not for anything that you do or do not do. It is inherent. It is a part of all of us. And I subsequently resigned from that organization, which I have now come to realize was a cult. No one joins a cult. And if you don't understand that joke, no one goes to a cult and says, I want to join you. They join a group because somehow it provides something for them. And this did for a long time. So I ended up resigning from that job. And after years of talk therapy or clinical counseling, it, my heart had been in such a deep pain for so long. I didn't know the origin of it. Oh, that's my cat. I didn't know the origin of it, but I knew the feeling, and the feeling was real. I was able to discern where a majority of the pain was coming from: my job and my mother. After putting up a few different boundaries with my mother and her not honoring any of them whatsoever, if anything, her behavior got more dominating. She got more people involved in her narrative, in her story, and really the intention was trying to regain control of me. I decided to go no contact. I decided to cut my mother off, and that was in 2020. And I asked myself regularly if I should have her in my life, and I just don't have her in my life because it's how I have been the last couple of years, or if it's the best thing for me. And still today, it is the best thing for me. So in 2020, I started to have different experiences with the spirit world. Different messages would come through, different, suddenly I was getting communicated to differently. I could hear a separate set of voices. The voice sounds like myself, but the messages were different than what my ego had ever presented. And I come to find out I have a lot of spiritual gifts, and clairaudient is one of my strongest. My guides talk to me pretty regularly. And so I knew in 2020 that part of my life's purpose, part of my life's plan, is to help people fall back in love with themselves. I said it earlier, and you will hear this until I die. You are loved and love simply because it is true. So in 2020, I knew that I wanted to help others heal, but before I could honestly do that, I needed to do some healing of my own. I had some reconciling of the life experience that I had had thus far. And some of it happened to me as a child, and some of it happened for me as an adult. And what I mean by that is, as a child, you don't really, at least the very beginning of your life, you don't even have self-awareness. You have no idea. You're just existing. You don't know. Let's say you saw mom hit dad, or dad be really aggressive when he drank. You didn't go, that doesn't seem right. It just was. And so this is what I do know, though, is specifically once you reach adulthood, and maturity is a little different for all, it is your responsibility to heal that. One of my favorite quotes by a gentleman named Peter Levine is, trauma is not what happens to, give me a moment. Trauma is not what happens to us. It is what we hold inside in the absence of an empathetic witness. Seemingly benign experiences, for example, mom not giving you a hug at the end of the day can actually hold the same type of weight as being raped. And I know that those seem like two very different experiences, but the way that that visceral body reaction can show up is the same. And I want to be really clear. I am not here to tell you what to feel, to tell you what you experienced. I am here to honor you and share with you that you are not alone, that you do not have to live in a place of pain for the rest of your life, and that healing can happen, and not only living but thriving can happen as well. So in 2020, I started to, with the help of my spirit guides, which now is like second nature, but when I was going through a spiritual awakening, I didn't grow up in a religious household. I didn't grow up in a household that had much emotional depth whatsoever. I actually grew up with a very emotionally immature parent, an absent father, and so why I share that is there are times when the pit that you feel you are living in has no ladder. There is no way to claw yourself out. I can tell you, the darker the room, the brighter the light will be. You stare into darkness long enough, there will be light. And so I knew in 2020 that part of what I was supposed to be experiencing in life was to share a message. And so this leads me to today. Sharing myself, sharing my energy, sharing my light with you. This is episode 1. So, and I want to tell you a little story. So earlier this week, I live in a city about an hour north of Seattle, Washington. It's on the northwest coast of the United States. I'm about an hour from Canada. And it's December, it's the holidays, and in the city that I live in, they put up a temporary ice skating rink, and then they also put up a temporary carousel. Well, once I saw that carousel go up, something inside of me was screaming with glee. It was my inner child. I didn't get to have a lot of those experiences growing up. Again, I had a mother who was a narcissist, emotionally immature. I was to have no needs, and then a father that wasn't there. And when I was in his presence, he did not get the father program, that programming chip. He had a shit father himself. My grandfather has passed. But something that my father has shared is that he never heard his dad say, "I love you." And my father, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he is a victim. He's a victim. He has not healed a lot of the experiences that he has had. And to be a victim means that you're powerless. That's the story that he tells himself, that he is powerless. So I saw this carousel, and I thought it was going to be taken down this past Sunday until next year. And so I had told myself that I really wanted to go ride this carousel. And so that Sunday, I was on a walk with my dog downtown, and there were a few different stories that I was telling myself. Attempting to invalidate my needs, not give myself permission to go and experience this. Hi, baby. I know. It's my cat Pepper. being able to experience what my heart really wanted and desired. So as I'm walking, the first thought was, that's just for kids. I don't have any kids. Like that's just for children. The second thought that I had was, I'm all alone. I'm by myself. Kind of feel like a loser. Like I'm seeing all of these families and these, groups of people, and I'm by myself. And then I thought to myself, fuck that. I don't live my life for anybody but myself. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. I get to decide who and what I am. I get to decide what and how my needs get met. So as I am on my walk, I bump into this woman. She's got a couple of dogs, so that's what initially created our connection, is our dogs. And we're chatting for a few moments, and of course, something related to spirituality presented itself between the two of us. And she goes, "Would you like to have a cup of coffee?" And I said, "Absolutely." Her name was is Harva. And lovely woman. She could have been my grandmother, which is really beautiful because I don't have any grandparents left in this realm anyway. And so anybody can be your grandmother or grandfather. It doesn't need to be for a lifetime, and it doesn't need to be for blood, with blood. And so we end up having sharing a drink, and also an acai bowl, which is it was delicious. And I share with her my dream about going on this carousel. And she says to me, "Well, I'll go with you and I will take some pictures of you." So I'm on the carousel. I'm sitting with my dog. And every time I made that loop, there was just this beautiful, bright light of a smile with a camera waving at me. Why I share this story is because the universe operates under one rule, one law. It is the law of attraction. Quite literally, our thoughts become things. And some may ask, how do I know what I'm thinking? There's this beautiful connection between our thoughts and our feelings. How you feel inside is a direct reflection of the thoughts that you have. And so the moment I had made a clear decision about riding that carousel, the universe then provided this woman to have that experience with me, because we are never, ever alone. So, bringing all of these stories full circle this is what I want myself to know, and I want you to know, is to just start. I waited so long, a couple of years, to make this video. And this is going to be one of many, because it's part of my calling. There is a passion that burns so deeply inside of my heart, this fire that I can't not get it out. And I know that each and every single one of us, you, has this. We all have a special antenna that is so unique is as unique as you are. There is only one of you alive, and only one of you that will ever live. So every time that you make yourself small, that you tell yourself that you don't actually need this thing, that you restrict, that you judge, that you are just looking versus doing, you're robbing the universe of you. What would it look like if you didn't do that? One of my favorite quotes, and it's by Oprah Winfrey, and it's not gonna be word for word, but something to the effect of, if I knew how great life would be by honoring my authentic self, I would have done it a long time ago. What does your soul need? Today, right now, what does it need? And you may say, I don't know, Tiffany, I am so disconnected from my own needs. I am so good at serving everybody else but my own needs. Then this is the beautiful thing, is you already know you can do it because you do it for other people. That's my dog snoring. You already know that you can do it. So now you just have to reorient the whom. Whom is receiving it? So it may be that you need to find yourself a notebook and a pen and be really quiet and ask yourself, what do I need today? What do I need in this moment? What part of my life is not being fulfilled? And it may just simply be that I need to take more time for myself. Okay, don't talk about it, be about it. It may be that you just, and some people need to put it into a calendar because they'll make every other excuse to on a subconscious level not honor the time that they just said that they were going to give themselves. So let's say you don't even know the what, but you know the what. You don't know what you're going to do with it, but you know that you need to give yourself more time. Then just block out 30 minutes of time. If you say I don't have 30 minutes of time, give yourself 5. And see what that feels like. Because I can promise you it's a practice. Just like yoga, just like baseball, just like chess. It's a practice, and you do it over and over and over. And this is the beauty, is you start to realize that it is actually fun. And there are definitely times where I have sought out an activity for myself, and in the middle of the activity, I think, I'm not fucking doing this shit again. But here's the beauty. Now I know. I learned that. I learned something about myself today, because this is what I know to be true as well. We're all just trying to make sense of this world. And we have a personality and coping mechanisms that are reflected in the programming that we received as children, that muddy, that actually betray. It's the way in which we betray ourselves and abandon ourselves, because it's sometimes can be a bit too, you can feel too exposed or too vulnerable. But I let me tell you this, babies don't have that. Think about how open a baby is. I mean, you can smile at any of them most of the time and they smile back. That's what we started as, these beautiful open vessels. And over time, become more and more and more and more closed. So you may not know how to love yourself, but it's, if you can visualize what you want it to look like, that's all that matters. Visualization is a powerful, powerful, powerful process. It aligns with the law of attraction. Once you make a clear declaration, a clear command to the universe, it can't not support you. It can't not honor it. But to be really clear, the universe doesn't function in knots. And so some great examples I've heard is, I do not want to hit traffic today. I do not want to fight with my significant other today. I do not want to fight with them. My boss hates me. My boss hates me. You just made all of those things come true. You made every single one of those things come true. It's a spell. You're making a spell with your mouth. So, tell the universe what you do want. I'm going to hit every single green light. And every single on-ramp, I'm going to get let in immediately. My significant other is going to be in a phenomenal mood today and is so loving. You get to decide. You are the master creator. Be your own cosmic hero. So, back to this being episode 1. The woman I met, Harva, she says to me, I have a tendency to ask people that have lived longer in life for advice. And I want to be very clear here. Nobody is driving the roads that you are on. There's a quote by Glennon Doyle. I can't remember it exactly, but it's something to the effect of, stop asking for directions from people that have never been on the roads that you're on. It's a metaphor for life. Your experience is so unique to you. You could have a twin, a triplet. You still don't go to the bathroom together all the time. You are having your own experience. So, but I like to ask people. I love to hear people's experiences. I truly, one of my favorite parts of the day is knowing that I'm going to meet somebody that I have never met before, and everybody's got a story. Everybody can teach me something. And so I asked her, what is the best piece of advice that you could give to me? And she says, don't give up. Don't stop. Keep going. Keep fighting. And I definitely have dealt with depression. I may go through another depressive episode. I traditionally don't know that I'm depressed until I'm coming out of it and I'm thinking, holy shit, I was depressed. But my hope in sharing that story and sharing these messages today is to inspire you to honor that voice inside of you, that dream, that idea, that goal. Just start it with zero regard to the outcome. We don't have it. Another favorite quote of mine is, God laughs when you are making plans. You can have the most streamlined, outlined plans, and at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. You don't have much control over it, if any. What you do have control over is your response to the experience of life. And the more gratitude you have, the more gratitude starts to breed. Again, it's the law of attraction. Angry people will have angering experiences. I don't even know if that's a word, but I just made it up. Happy people are gonna attract more happiness. It's almost like a Teflon. It's like when you're vibrating so high, like somebody can come at you with anger and it's like, whew, let it go. Let it just swing on by, because it doesn't bother you. You're not influenced by it. So, what other messages do I have, if there's any other for the collective? You are loved and loved simply because it is true. You have found me today because you asked for it. Somehow, through the law of attraction, you have found me because you have asked for it. honor that. If I'm saying something that makes you a little uncomfortable, lean into it. I should not be able to make you feel any sort of way. You give the words that are coming out of my mouth meaning. So if I am triggering you, that's actually a really beautiful thing, because here's the other thing I know is we all play the villain in someone's story. So, this is what I also know is the most villainous people in my life, I have the most gratitude for today, because they incited the most change for me. So, welcome to the Healing Hill. My name is Tiffany Hill Cook. This is going to be a beautiful, flourishing relationship that I look forward to fostering with you. I love you. Until next time, signing off.